In the last 24 hours, Taylor has sent Swifties on a mission to crack open the 1989 Taylor's Version vault. To do so, she unveiled a collaboration with Google in which fans have had to join forces to unlock the entire vault. After solving a total of 89 puzzles 33 million times, the vault was unlocked in around 19 hours. This revealed the first 4 tracks. After that, Taylor Nation kind of challenged us to continue up to the total of 40 million. However, Taylor has now revealed the entire track list of 1989 Taylor's Version, which includes the following 5 tracks. We have Is It Over Now, Now That We Don't Talk, Say Don't Go, Suburban Legends, and Slut. Even though these secrets have now been revealed, we're going to be decoding the answers to all of the puzzles that featured in the Google and Taylor collaboration, as well as breaking them all down, explaining their meaning and relation to the 1989 era as a whole. That way, you can get some peace of mind if you were puzzled by some of the obscure references, or simply celebrate by reliving some of the most iconic moments from this era.
Okay, so we're going to be running through all 89 of the puzzles, and we've kind of divided them up into different sections. So the first kind of answers that we have that we're going to run through are the no hint answers. So some of them are quite self-explanatory. So one of them is From the Vault, which obviously is a reference to the From the Vault songs for the Taylor's Version. Second is 5th album. Obviously 1989 is Taylor's 5th album. We then have a list of the vinyls. So Sunrise Boulevard, a yellow, which is obviously a 1989 Taylor's Version vinyl variant. Much like Aquamarine Green, Crystal Blue Skies, and Pink Rose Garden. And then the final of the no-hint answers is Pop Record, which is obviously in a reference to 1989 and Taylor's shift from country music into pop music. So those are the first 7.
The next group of hints and puzzles are the self-explanatory answers. So these ones, there's no real meaning behind what these puzzles were. There's no big stories to them. There simply are just quite clear references to very clear-cut things from Taylor's fandom and that era in specific. We have 1989 Taylor's Version. The hint for this was My Name is Taylor and I Was Born in. 13, which the hint was Lucky. Swifties, the hint was I Love You. December 13th, the hint was Birthday. October 27th, the hint was the release of 1989, of course. Sagittarius, the hint was Taylor's Sun Sign. Wednesday, the hint was her birthday. This time, a bit more specific, the 13th of December 1989 was a Wednesday. 1989, again, the hint was I Was Born In. And finally, Reclaimed, the hint was Taylor's Version. It makes sense because obviously Taylor's Version is reclaiming and regaining ownership of her masters.
The next section is lyric answers. So just to mention that there are 37 lyric answers from every single song on 1989. We won't be running through every single one, but if you would like to see them, then head over onto our Instagram where we'll share them onto our stories.
Moving on, the next section is hidden messages in the lyric booklet. So all of these hints were basically the name of the song, and you had to type in a part or the whole hidden message that was originally featured in the lyric booklets of 1989, the original version back in 2014. So these are from number 55 to 59, and they are, and everyone was watching for I Know Places, they paid the price for All You Had to Do Was Stay, she danced to forget him for Shake It Off, timing is a funny thing for this love, and But She Found Herself. The hint for this one was Somehow That Was Everything. It is part of Clean's hidden message, but it is also a message in the Out of the Woods music video.
So the next section, hitting at the 60 mark, is the relation to music. So the first one is pen click, and the hint was blank space, and this is obviously the sound that Taylor recreates during the blank space song.
Next up we have Golf Club, the hint was smashing. Again, Golf Club is very much related to blank space, as Taylor used a golf club in the music video destroying a car, and she also used it in some of the tour performances in both 1989 and currently the Eras tour.
The next was New York City, and the hint for this was Loudest and Brightest City. Obviously this references Welcome to New York and also the centre of the 1989 album, as Taylor moved to New York during the 1989 creation.
Next up we have Glitch. The hint was Wildest Dreams, Taylor's Version. This one has a bit more of a contrived history to it. 2 years ago, Taylor posted a TikTok with her version of Wildest Dreams announcing and releasing it. And there was a strange glitch. The video goes a bit blurry and mashes images together for a split second. It became a bit of an infamous meme in the fandom, and that is what it is referencing currently.
Next is She Lost Him, and the hint is Out of the Woods intro. So in the Out of the Woods music video, and also as we mentioned, the clean secret message in the lyric booklet, Taylor references she lost him, but she found herself, and somehow that was everything. And that's what this one is referencing.
Next we have She Wasn't Doing Anything. The hint for this one is Bad Blood. This is one of the most recent clues, as during a performance of Bad Blood on the Eras tour, Taylor spotted a security guard harassing a fan. As she sang, she shouted at him to leave her alone and to stop, clarifying that the fan wasn't doing anything wrong.
The next one is Crossword Puzzle, which is a reference to blank space, and obviously within a crossword you have lots of blank spaces that you have to fill in.
And then finally for this section, we have The Summer I Turned Pretty. The hint for this one is This Love, Taylor's version. This is due to a collaboration with the Amazon Prime series The Summer I Turned Pretty in 2022, in which Taylor released This Love, Taylor's version.
So we've now hit the 68 mark, and the next section is the puzzles that relate to the 1989 World Tour. So one of them was Tokyo, and the hint for this was First Stop. And this was the first stop on the 1989 World Tour back in 2014.
Following that trend, we also have Melbourne, and the hint was Last Stop, as it was the last stop of the tour.
Next, again in relation to the previous one, was Sydney, and the hint for that was 1989 World Tour. Sydney became quite an iconic show as it was recorded and released on Apple Music, and obviously part of the 1989 World Tour film. And while Taylor hits the golf club, she shouts the name of the city, and because this is the one that was kind of widely spread and recorded, she shouts Sydney, and it became a bit of a kind of iconic thing within the fandom to shout Sydney in between the blank space bridge.
Next up we have My Name is Taylor Swift, which was the corresponding to the Hint 1989 tour. So this is what Taylor says during the bridge of New Romantics on the 1989 World Tour to try to introduce the audience to the tour itself.
Next is Rainstorms, and the hint for this was Makes You Clean. And in the 1989 World Tour clean speech, one of the quotes that she kind of mentions is about walking through lots of rainstorms and that therefore making you clean. These did slightly change each night, but they kind of had quite a central metaphor of being clean as a result of rainstorms.
Following on from that one, and very much related to it, finally we have Brave Is What You Are. Again, the hint was clean. And again, this is a common theme that Taylor mentioned in almost all of her clean speeches every night during the tour.
So we're now at the 74 mark, and the next section that we're going to be kind of going into is the other. So this is kind of moments from the 1989 era as a whole and not maybe very specific. So the first one is Got a Haircut, and the hint for this was caption. So this was the caption on Instagram to the photo of Taylor Swift's hair that she had cut towards the end of the Red era, which obviously marked a major shift leading into the 1989 iconic short hair look.
Next up we have Floor 18, and the hint for this one is track 6. This is a reference to the clue that Taylor originally shared on Instagram in 2014 that led Swifties to the live stream in which she announced Shake It Off, which is track 6 of 1989 and 1989 album as a whole.
The next one is Yes Whale, and the hint for this was Look at It. Now this is a very, very niche reference to a video that Taylor uploaded of herself whale watching while on vacation with the Haim sisters in Maui back in Jan 2015. She spotted a whale and shouted this out, and ever since then it's become a bit of a meme within the fandom.
Next up we have another rogue one, Sheep. The hint for this one was Impossible to Reason With, and this references a video that again Taylor posted of herself during this era in which she is trying to feed some sheep and they're kind of like going for her, then she doesn't have any food in her hand and they keep trying to eat something out of her hand, and she says, "You are impossible to reason with."
The next one is Swiftmas, and the hint for this was a Santa Claus emoji, and this obviously is in relation to the Christmas celebration during the 1989 era, where Taylor sent or hand-delivered presents to fans, and the emoji itself also was appearing on fans' pages, and if they were having this within their comments on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, often then they were becoming one of the people to receive a Swiftmas present.
Next up we have another fan event, Secret Sessions. The hint was Excitedly Mingling, and this was the hint in specific because it's a quote that Taylor said at the very first ever Secret Sessions, which are album listening parties that fans were invited to exclusively attend.
Next is Chai Sugar Cookies, and the hint for this was Christmas in September. And this is one of Taylor's favourite kind of cookies to bake and became quite iconic within the 1989 era, and lots of people were making them as she kind of released the recipe of how to do so.
MCMLXXXYX, and the hint was Karma music video, so these are Roman numerals that basically add up to 1989. These appear in the first few frames of the Karma music video etched into the statue which Taylor is dressed as.
Next is 65, and the hint for this was number of instant films, and this is obviously a reference to Polaroids and obviously the iconic 1989 photo shoot, and Polaroids being a centre point of that.
We have Pegacorn, and the hint for this one was Halloween costume. This is a reference to an interview that Taylor had with Elvis Duran during 1989 promo, in which she dressed up as a Pegacorn as it was Halloween.
The next puzzle was Love, and the hint for this was a game of cat and mouse. So this is the description of Love from the 1989 prologue. So Taylor said, I wrote about the thrill I got when I finally learned that love, to some extent, is just a game of cat and mouse.
At number 85, we have Taylorkin, and the hint was likes, job, whereabouts, studied intently. So Taylorkin is a portmanteau or blend coined in the era made out of the words Taylor and lurking. And basically it was something that she admitted to doing as she browsed fans' social media in order to figure out which ones she'd like to invite to special events such as secret sessions, and then be able to greet them with their personal name and, knowing a bit about them.
Next is Sea Urchins, and the hint for this was Deepest Fear, and Taylor revealed in a Ellen DeGeneres interview that her deepest fear was in fact sea urchins.
Next up we have Seagulls, and the hint is blue sweatshirt. This is a reference to the vintage sweatshirt that Taylor wore on the cover of the original album, which featured seagulls, which now have become a very iconic imagery of the era and also feature on the album art for 1989 Taylor's version.
Next is Sunglasses, and the hint for this was they never go out of style. So sunglasses were kind of part of the iconic 1989 photo shoot look, then became a merch item and then part of Taylor's 1989 World Tour outfit. They were also used on the Wildest Dreams Taylor's version cover and the TikTok announcement, and have become quite a symbolic image and merch item for the 1989 era as a whole.
Finally, we have reached number 89 on this list of puzzles, and that is Los Angeles. The hint for this one was announce, and this was the location of the Eras Tour concert during which Taylor announced 1989 Taylor's version. With that, those are the 89 puzzles and their respective hints. As of now, we know 1989 Taylor's version tracklist. We know that there are no collaborations on this Taylor's version. And we also know that there are much more things to come that we have some interesting theories and speculation about. So if you did enjoy this episode, in which we just quickly wanted to break all this down, as it was quite a fun challenge that we thought was very much made for and tailored for Swifties. So if you did enjoy it, please give us a thumbs up on this YouTube video. Make sure that you also subscribe. If you want to see any of the stories that Cameron mentioned, then please go and follow us over on Instagram. Our handle is @SwiftlySpokenPodcast. For now, we're going to leave you with this, but we will be back very soon with more 1989 Taylor's version content.